everyone and welcome to the first day of Inktober. For those of you that are aware, I was going to live stream these each day of the day of each one, but I got thrown a curveball by our estate agents who decided out of the blue to let me know that on Wednesday morning that they had two people who wanted to view the house. So mad dash, tidy up, get the house prepped, get them in, and then another one on Thursday, and then another one this morning. So I have had literally no time to do this, which is kind of what I thought. But I did in the evenings, this evening, so this would be evening of the 1st. So I'm doing them in the evening, recording them and putting them up. But I also believe that I'm probably going to be a bit late putting them up because I've got rehearsals to go to. So this may not come out until Friday evening, Saturday morning, but I am doing them, don't worry. So I've got my beautiful, this is my glass dip pen. You see I've got ink already on my fingers, I haven't even started. So this is a glass dip pen. It's one of the longer ones with a twist. And I have actually partially filed the tip on these. Tend to find they can be really scratchy if you're not careful with them, because they're quite cheaply made. You can buy, I got this on Amazon fairly cheap, but the advantage I have is I know I was buying it cheap and I knew that the tip would not be great, so I was able to sand the tip to form a little better point. We also have my, are these the diamond? I think these are the diamond fountain pen inks that I'm using. Yes, they are the diamond pen inks. So they are, you know, they're fairly consistent, and I like a nice thickness of ink that isn't going to run a mile, but also at the same time is going to go far when I use it with the pen without having to consistently dip. So I have sketched out my one for the prompt for day one. So this is our prompt for day one, which is Mustache. So here is the list, so you guys can see what we're doing this month. And I don't know if you can see, I've sketched it out on top of, I've just kind of put a bit of watercolour down. So hopefully you may or may not be able to see that. But I have sketched my fun prompt idea for this one, just a moustache on legs. I have absolutely no idea. Last year I had a theme for a black cat that went through all of my sketches, and this year I'm just going on wacky and wild. So some will be a little bit more normal and others will just be completely weird. And I like that, I really want to do that. So let's get on with this one. We've got a storm predicted to hit us on Friday, so that's going to be fun. Just wipe excess off, I don't want to start off with a huge blob. My eyesight isn't particularly good, so this should be fun. And this isn't particularly great paper either, so it may run. It is going to run, isn't it? So let's really do this quite fine. My shaky hands will not help. I don't know if I'll actually colour any of this in, we'll think about it. Might maybe hatch. We'll use some hatching. This is a blue-black ink. So I don't know how well you guys can see it, but it has, it's like a really, really nice kind of navy blue colour. And it's a bit of a favourite of mine, this one. The other favourite colour I tend to use for these is my chocolate colour one. That's not right at all. It should go across there. And then you've got the tongue of the boots. I was looking for inspiration on what my moustache with legs was going to be doing. Accordingly, he's taking a stroll in his steels, or walking boots. I'm going to call them steels because I've worked in an industry where we've worn steels all the time. So this is just one of those things that I have several pairs, my husband has several pairs, so between us we have a lot of them, and therefore they're a kind of consistent feature in the house. So fairly easy for me to kind of pick up on. What's the other part of that lip there? And that one comes down. I'm just trying to not necessarily follow the lines I've already put down, but just kind of make sure I don't put anything down too heavy. Because like I said, this paper, it's just printing paper. I didn't want anything fancy for this year. Last year it was print card, so a card made for handling inks, but this year we could not be bothered. So we've got just normal paper for a printer, hence the reason it's trying to soak in. Okay, we want to come down the sides of this. Might need to read it, I'm going to try and get away with it. Switch sides of the pen. So you can see how well this pen's actually going going down without any scratchiness. And also how much ink it actually holds, which is quite nice. That goes that way. Crossed laces will be my undoing. I am not very good at these. Time for a bit more ink. I'm only just dipping the pen in far enough for just above the nib. I want to be able to control the thickness of these lines quite well, so I don't want to put the nib all the way in, because otherwise I would be having to sit there for a while waiting for all the excess to drip off before continuing, which wouldn't be particularly useful. So you've got the line of the sole there. I'm just going to give, if you like, marks there, just to show wear and tear really. There's always wear and tear on these. Mine look like they're about 20 years old and they're only about 5 from the sort of use they get. Really nice curve on the front of that. And if you don't know what steels are, they are basically the shortened name version for steel toe cap boots, which are also commonly called safety boots. And they have a cap right at the end. In fact, this bit here, which is got encapsulated steel in it, and that is to protect your toesies from crush injuries, which is fine in my industry. I worked in theatre, so it was fine. I probably wouldn't say that for some of the more construction industry, because I'm not really sure how much protection they really afford. Maybe dropping a brick or a hammer on it, fine, but getting run over by a forklift, I don't think that's really going to fully protect you. Not with the weight of that. Right, I'm going to do some little lines down here, just to show some movement and ground. Otherwise my little moustache is going to be just kind of floating in the air, which is fine, but at the same time also not fine. And line there. Line there, I'll do one there and one here. Not too many, but just enough to kind of make it look like he's walking with some fun. Like a jolly step, maybe. Can you jolly step in boots? I don't know. Right, make sure I've got a bit more ink on this pen for a second, because this is a long... I try to keep my lines like single fluid lines, because that helps with the ink, but my eyesight isn't particularly good. I'm trying to follow a very faint line. I drew this in pencil first, and then I've got a putty rubber, which I then just pressure into the pencil. No rubbing motions, just press down with it and lift off, and it lifts some of that off so that it makes it fainter. And go up and round. This is a very nice curly moustache, I must say. Oh yeah, I like that. Right. Let's give him some hairlines though, otherwise it's going to look a little boring. Put more ink on that. Always have to be really careful. I have heard many stories of woe of people breaking the tips of the nibs on the glass bottle. Cheap glass on these sorts of bottles, which are pretty solid glass. This I got from a charity shop, so this ink I don't think is relatively modern, shall we say. I suspect it's actually been in somebody's house for a long time, because the glass is super thick, which makes me think that yes, this is probably an older bottle. And that does happen. People can keep ink for a long time. Ink doesn't really spoil that much depending on the kind of botanical that's used for it. So, but people using cheap glass nibs like this one, and this is a cheap one, and I will keep saying that to everybody, this is cheap, they do tend to break really easily when hit against proper glass. They also break quite easily hitting against ceramic as well. So even if I just had like a glass of water or something, I'd still have to be really careful. And it's so annoying because people just don't realise, they just think, oh well, it's glass on glass, surely it can't be that bad. But actually, if your pen is made with inferior glass, then it will have lots of microscopic air bubbles and imperfections in it, even cracks you can't see.
and the result, unfortunately, is that it will split when hit against real glass. There's just something about the interaction between the two. I don't know if maybe it's a sound vibration or something that then causes it to snap, but I mean, obviously if you hit it with force it'll snap. But, you know, people saying to me, but I didn't even hit it that hard, it literally just touched the side and it snapped. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right.
There are ways to get around that. You can buy rubber insert stoppers. So they go in and they have a little lip on the top so they don't drop all the way in. But it gives a rubber insert all the way around, and that just allows you to dip this in and out without the nib actually touching the glass. So let's give this some shading. We're just going to do some really light hatching. So there's going to be some shadow from this mustache on these legs. So I'm just going to cross hatch that. And the same there. Go one direction and then the other. And that just gives a little bit of shadow right at the top. And this dark here. The same there and a little bit there. This is where we just add a little bit of character, not much. I want the laces to be black. Well, it's not black, is it? It's blue. The same there. So we'll just go all the way down with those. And on that side, I'm really not good at drawing crossed laces, that's for certain. They're like spaghetti, they're all over the place. Okay, right. I want the soles to be black. They generally are on most of these sorts of boots, so actually we'll do the heel really black. A little too much ink there, so I'll be very careful because when it soaks into the page like that, it can risk the nib ripping the paper because it's now wet and soft, especially on paper like this. So we'll just make sure we've got rid of plenty of excess here. Make sure the ink pot doesn't escape off the thing there. You see that? Look, it's spread. It's spread. I didn't ask you to spread, but okay. So we're just going to attach that all the way down. Just double line of crosshatch. And the same here. And I want it a little darker at the back here. And along the back of the, I don't know what you want to call that, the rubber bit at the top. The same there. That's a bit of a mess, but never mind. I know what it's supposed to be. Right, and I want to darken this line here down the middle of the mustache. Come here. Try not to scrub with the pen because that will just literally rip up the paper. Right, and then I want to cross hatch. I'm trying to decide. Because it's curved, I think I'm going to go like that. Not too much on the pen. Trying to keep this quite fine. It probably won't happen now. This will probably blob. Oh, no, we're okay for the minute. It'll be darker at the bottom as well. And same, but we're going in the opposite direction. Pen's decided now it's going blobby. Thanks for that.
And then we go opposite direction. I'm trying to make sure that the directions we're going in are not the same directions as the line of the moustache, in order for that to really look like what we want. And same with this one, but going that way. And then there's a little bit here, so we're just gonna hatch there. Going that way, and the same on this side. Do it that way, and then back that way, in order to get our little crosshatch there. There we go. I think I should tighten this crosshatch closer to the central line slightly. And the way you do that is that you then go, so you've got 4 directions for a crosshatch. The first angle, then the next going the opposite way, then the next going the opposite way. So you should have 4 directions. So we then go down the next direction. Same here. And this just darker, the more lines you put down, the darker it is. How's that? Yeah, I like that. Right, I am going to leave that there. I'm just going to wipe off the nib. Put it back in its box, and there is the very first one of Inktober 2025 and today's prompt, which is moustache. So I will see you all for day 2. I'm not telling what it is, but you can always look back at the start of this video and see the prompt list. Anyway, ta-ta for now, and I will see you all soon.